Hello, hello. Good evening, everyone. I hope that each and every one of you are enjoying your Sunday. I know that I am, and I am happy for you guys to be here and joining me this evening. Give me just one second while I set everything up so everyone can be in the room to join us. Look at that. Everything appears to be working like it is meant to. Hello, hello, everyone. Once again, thank you for joining me tonight on another spectacular edition of the Sunday Sit Down with yours truly, Nicole LaTreece. The space where I am intentional about just coming to you guys and trying to give different perspective, putting, my coaching hat on in this moment to be like, what is it that people could really need to create and design a space where we can come together and have intentional conversations that we really need to be having in order to push us as people, in order to push our connections as men, women, mothers, fathers, children, daughters, sons, husbands, wives, like to push everyone forward into a new space of living more in their more authentic selves. Me, myself, that is something that I personally am on a mission not to strive to be, but I am committed to be living my life in a way that is authentic to me and authentically represents who I am, the struggles that I go through, and this journey of life that it is that I'm on. So, if you are joining me tonight, welcome again to another Sunday sit down with yours truly, Nicole LaTreece. I am she is me, and we are thankful for you coming and joining us to be a part of this journey that we are currently on, which is the mind reset. I don't know if you're like me. I don't know what led you to come join me in this space, not just tonight, but if you've been watching any of the episodes before, if you know me really, truly in real life, or if you've had the experience of being around me, through one of these various outings that I've been on before. Um, I don't take my connections and my interactions lightly. I'm very intentional and very purposeful, um, just in how I show up. And I want to show that to people so that hopefully more people can choose to do that as well. What led me to this particular place of this particular conversation today, it was several episodes back where I genuinely showed you guys like my experience of being fumbled in every relationship that I have been a part of here lately. Sometimes the fumbling was not, of my doing. Sometimes I had a hand in it just because of me operating at a lower space or not speaking up when I needed to speak up or not realizing just how far removed I had been from the people that I had previously known. Whatever the case is, I realized that I got fumbled. In order to be fumbled, it's to be mishandled. Like that was the realization that I came to. In every single relationship that I had been experiencing at that point, it had been hit. My friendships, my family relationships, my relationship with my daughter, and my pursuit of intimate relationships, like every single one. Like God was like, okay, if we're going to reveal this in one space, then we have to be open and willing to reveal it in another space as well. All right, Lord, and the damage is done. So, what's the worst that could happen? And there was beauty in allowing myself to get into that space of really looking at everything and seeing where it is that I needed to go. Um, and in doing so, I was kind of able to write down my journey and write down my experiences in a way as to provide that in a uh, coaching journey, to be able to find the nuances of that, list it out, and be able to put that together as something that can help everyone that I come in contact with moving forward. Because if I'm the best version of myself, then people are always getting the best version of myself, and hopefully that energy will cause them to be the best versions of themselves too. Hopefully is the key word. But before I go too far off on a tangent, if you are joining me tonight via Facebook, drop that FB in the comments. Let me know that you're rocking with your girl. Let me know that you're here. If you are watching on YouTube, yes, y'all was the first channel space that I decided to be in, and I am so happy that everything is flowing and functioning like it's supposed to. Into my newest space, IG, drop that IG in the chat and say hello to your girl. Let me know which spaces are rocking with me tonight, and let me know who it is that is coming and joining me on this journey of what we're talking about tonight. So, tonight's conversation is finding your North Star. Now, keep in mind, we're in the process of a mind reset. Whatever brought you to this point, I hope and I pray that you are going strong with it, because whatever brought you to wanting to do a mind reset, whatever may have brought you to needing to implement the process of going through a mind reset, I can only imagine what you may be going through, what you experienced prior to coming and joining me tonight in this conversation. I know what I went through. I've told you guys about some of it, but there's no possible way that I can tell you about all of it. And some things just at this point, they just don't need to be told, because I've healed from them. I've moved forward from them. And I've taken the lessons that I needed to learn from those experiences. But it still led me to, like, in certain situations, when you go through being mishandled or fumbled, when you go through a situation that prompts you to have to move forward in a different way, and a different way without what you once had before, that can be a scary situation to be in. That could be the type of thing where, as Pastor Charles likes to say, three things happen, there's a response. You got fight, you got flight, and you got freeze. Fight is like, depending on your perspective, it's like, oh, like you're fighting what needs to happen. You're fighting for something that doesn't need to be there anymore. You're fighting to move from the thing that it is that actually caused you hurt. You're fighting yourself to be something different. Then you have flight. Flight is where you are a runner, you are a track star, you are avoiding every possible thing that you can, where the universe, God, or whatever you believe in is telling you, baby girl, bruh, you need to experience this. Don't run from it. Be in it. But fear is the catalyst for flight. Fear could be the catalyst for fight too, but in this perspective of how I'm delivering it, yeah, flight. You're running from anything. You're running from growth. You're running from hurt. You're running from person to person. You're running from the feelings that are trying to tell you that they're there. Whatever the case may be, flight. You are running. And then you have freeze. Freeze is a space where you don't know necessarily what to do, because you don't feel like you have the fight in you. You don't feel like you know where to run to. You don't know what to do. So you freeze. And it's like you're not in the holding pattern that I've mentioned in the past episodes. You are like frozen from doing anything. It's like you're just so tight. I don't know if y'all seen a baby like that, but you're just so tight, and it's just like you're looking around, you don't know which way to go. You're frozen in. the space of a possible decision. No matter where you are, no matter which of those three categories, you may actually find yourself in those three categories. That is not all that there has to be. You can be in fight mode, and all of a sudden a part of your journey comes up and then you run from it because you still need to fight to get on to where you need to be. But fighting to where you need to be, it gets a little lonely. It looks a little different. You become fearful of, well, what is the rest of this actually supposed to look like? What is it going to look like? Or you can start out as a runner, and something in your experience can make you have to get into fight mode. Maybe you have children. Maybe you trying to break or not create generational curses to where it's just like, well, I saw my mom and my dad not doing the best when it comes to their type of communication. There weren't conversations that were being had in my house, so I don't really know how to communicate. But you know what? I don't want to be like that anymore. I'm going to fight to do something different. I used to run. I used to avoid. I used to not talk. I used to not let people in. I used to not be concerned about any of that. Now I'm going to get in fight mode. You could be the type of person that is frozen. And you can be tired of being in a frozen position and you're looking like, I got to do something. And getting out of that frozen mode, maybe the first thing you do is you decide to flee. You decide flight is going to be the first thing that you do because it at least moves you somewhere. It at least gets you out of that frozen mode. Whatever position you're starting in, it is a starting position. Think about a track race. Usain Bolt, Flojo, Jordan Kersey, like all of them, they start in a particular position. Whatever your position is, if you do both hands on the line, if you have one knee down, one knee, whatever your starting position, that doesn't mean that that's how you have to be. Coming and listening to this conversation, participating in this conversation, yeah, you're at the starting line. That gun is getting ready to go off. Every time I have an episode, every time I'm taking you week through week of this mind reset journey, that's your gun going off. That's your opportunity to pop yourself up and start on your race. No matter if you're coming in week one, you was ready, you like, let's go, let's get it. Some of y'all, it may take y'all to week 5 to get to that point. Some of you may be that type of person at the very end. That gun has gone off time and time and time again. And you heard it and you felt the impact, but you still didn't have that spark. Hey, if you come in at the last week and you like, okay, this is it. Guess what? These conversations live here forever. You have the opportunity to go back and read it, or you also have the opportunity to connect with me directly, and then we can put you forward further on the path that it is that you need to be. Is finding your North Star, a guide to uncovering your why on the mindset journey. If you are, and I wanted to use this, football season is going on, and I kind of use this as a reference. It's a bye week. I know it's early in the season to be having a bye week, but last week we talked about limiting beliefs. And for some people, uncovering the fact that you actually have limiting beliefs which are holding you back. For some people, that could be a lot. If you are a person who is like me that has been going through this particular part of your journey for a while now, for me, when I say a while, it's been 2 months into a couple years. That's the way I'm going to put it. For some of you, that very first episode of me talking about walking away from the hurt ones we love, that could have been your wake up call, no matter wherever you are. If you're listening to this now, you're in week 2. You're in the process of finding your North Star. You're in the process of going through this mind reset. And like I said, limiting beliefs can be a very heavy thing for some people to have to sit there and bear witness to, because you see that you weren't the best person. You see that you didn't make the best decisions. You see that you didn't make the best choices. You saw that you were operating in a limited capacity. And prior to now, you didn't know that you were. I'm in that boat with you. I didn't know that I was. But now that I know, never again. When you know better, you do better. For real. So that's why we're here. That's why we're in the process of finding our North Star. So if you don't operate in the space of knowing your North Star, what it looks like to you, what it feels like, where it is that you can go to find it, like, then yeah, you aren't rooted in anything. Back in the day when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore, just playing. So there's symbolism to the North Star. Maybe you guys haven't heard of it. Um, it is for navigators. It was a fixed point of navigation guiding explorers to their destination. A fixed point of navigation guiding explorers to their destination. And the mind reset journey that we're on, your North Star serves as that internal compass. There are a couple key words that are significant within just that statement alone. A fixed point. What that means is a fixed point in this journey is something that you can always look to, something that you can always use as an identifier. Um, and it holds you in that place. It holds your focus. It holds you in the space of knowing where it is that you're going, how you're progressing, even in the fact of the whole world around you looking different, or people operating in your world differently because you're operating differently. When you move different, everything else has to move differently too, including the people in your life, the loved ones that you have, which are still hurt, that you originally had to walk away from. So that's the first keyword, fixed point. Then you have navigation and guidance. Your North Star leads you forward at all times to where it is that you actually genuinely want to go. And where it is that you actually and genuinely want to go, you have to go to that place. That has to be your pursuit despite any and everyone else, because everything for any and everyone else is constantly changing, and what they're any and everything else, it is not yours. It's not. It ain't gonna look the same, it ain't gonna sound the same, it ain't gonna feel the same. That duck may be a geese, it may be a swan, it may be an all-out chicken, but whatever it is for you, your North Star has to be that fixed point of guidance to your destination. And the destination is the place that you want to arrive at. Because I started with a decision to walk away from hurt people that I love because I was the one being hurt. I had to figure out where was the hurt coming from and why did it matter to me? Why was it affecting me? Who is this person that I am right now, being in the midst of all these hurt situations, versus who is the person that I want to be, being healed from all these situations as well? Being my authentic self, living the life that is meant for me, fulfilling my purpose that was predestined for me before I was even known in my mother's womb. That is my North Star. That is my why. I love my daughter. I do. There is going to come a time where my daughter is doing her own thing. She'll still always be my daughter, but she won't need me as much. That is not a fixed point, and I can't do for my daughter if I'm not doing the best for myself. That's a part of the understanding of my North Star. So let's get deeper into what is the North Star. So historically, the North Star has been used for navigation, as I said before. It's consistent, unwavering, and always points true north. Now, when I give these references, if I am speaking specifically on like the true definition or the true representation of what the North Star is, I challenge you to put that into the perspective of your own life. We have not had the opportunity to meet, if we have not had the opportunity to sit down and go through the coaching program together, I don't know fully what it is that brought you to this point. I don't know what it is fully that is going to be the representation of how you view your North Star. So if you need to, right now, go get a pen, piece of paper, use your phone, whatever the case may be. But as I'm bringing these things to your attention, write down what they look like to you. Write down what the representation of what I said looks like in your own personal life. And that is a part of the journey of the mind reset. That's a part of the journey of finding your North Star. When you know 100% what it is and you write it down, then guess what? You can hold yourself accountable for that, since we haven't met yet and I'm not able to do it. In life, your North Star is your purpose or your why. It is the reason behind what you do, keeping you aligned with your true self. I hope that each and every one of you are wanting to live up to being your true self. And it's ironic because I had a conversation with one of my very good girlfriends earlier about this very topic. And we were talking about just in the dating space that she's exploring, um, the gentleman that she was interacting with, like she felt like he wasn't being his most authentic self, and then that actually ended up being the reason why they were no longer compatible with one another, because things came out that he wasn't being his authentic self, and then who his authentic self showed up to be was not in alignment with her. So if you're not living life, if you're not trying to go through this mind reset to uncover your true self, you're still operating in a space of limiting beliefs. You gotta let all the foolishness wash away. Like, get real with yourself. I think I'm gonna put that on a t-shirt and just let that be the statement, because it's true. We have enough of this instant gratification, way popcorn type mentality, just because you see somebody on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram as having it all together. They don't actually have it all together. If you knew the journey that it took to get to that point, they don't have it all together. They may be the type of person or influencer where that's what they want you to see. And then you have people like me that's just like, no, like, I'm gonna talk about it all. I don't have it all together. There are times where I struggle just like everyone else, and I have no problem saying it. But my North Star is my true identity. Like, yes, it's ever changing, it's always evolving, because mixing and mingling with you folks add to that. But I don't need it to be the thing where I am one person in one moment and somebody completely different in another moment. I am who I am, and that's all that I am. The words Popeye, but you get that, period. Your North Star matters in a mind reset, because when we reset our minds, it's easy to lose sight of what we truly value. The North Star helps us stay focused on what really matters when old patterns or limiting beliefs try to pull us back. That is the way the universe works. When you move forward, there is like the not it was that chingy. Every time I try to leave, something keeps pulling me back, telling me I need you in my life. if that ain't a good representation of the process of moving forward and intentionally moving forward, I'm not talking about no haphazardly moving forward. It's just like, okay, like, yeah, that situation ain't work out. I'm gonna move forward, but I'm not ready to do the work. I'm not ready to heal. I'm not ready to, like, I said it before in other videos. I'm ready to move on. I'm not ready to move forward. Does that sound different to y'all? Saying that those two different ways, does that sound different to y'all in any way? Moving on versus moving forward. To me, and those who I have coached and those who I have talked to, moving on is what a lot of people do. Me and one of my other best friend, male friend out here, we had this conversation. People are conditioned to move on and not get what it is that they are supposed to get from specific experiences. So when they move on thinking that they have done what they needed to do, that that situation or that type of person ain't never going to come into their life, once they move on, guess what? That person still comes and they still show themselves. It just takes longer for it to be revealed because you've edited the programming in your CPU and your internal computer to where you put a blinder in place. And now it takes you longer to be able to see that it's still quacking like a duck. It's still walking like a duck. It's still a duck. But you make passes to keep interacting with them ducks. As opposed to people like me on the other side, I'm moving forward. And in my space of moving forward means I'm not dragging the baggage with me, but I am taking the lessons, the realizations. I'm taking what it is that is meant to go forward with me through this next part of my journey. So that way, if a duck come up to me, duck, you better quack your little butt on somewhere else because I don't deal with ducks. I don't deal with chickens either, but that's a whole other conversation. But I don't deal with ducks. I've seen how you act like a duck. I hear how you quack like a duck. I see how you move like a duck. I don't deal with ducks. And if a duck come to me, duck, you better duck. Because you're going to get hit with this growth that has occurred within me, with the mindfulness that I walk forward in, with the power of my voice and who I am to say, no, all that extra that you doing, you still a duck. Ducks ain't for me. Go find another duck. Go find another pond to go swim in. This is what it looks like for me in my mind reset. But I'm not going to allow anything that I've moved forward from the power to pull me back. That was what all that was to say. But yeah, I had to duck when it came out. It wasn't it wasn't pre-rehearsed, let me tell you. So life's challenges and confusion are inevitable. But with your North Star, you'll always know where to realign. So in the analogy of a duck, duck came to me, okay, cool. No, you are a duck. I don't deal with ducks. I'm going to continue to move forward. I'm looking for this black swan. Okay. So in that process of realignment, making sure that you know your why, making sure that you're always keeping your North Star in the focus, we're going to move forward to the journey of uncovering your North Star. The journey of uncovering your North Star, it is a couple steps within there. It's a couple things to understand. The first being, it is a process of exploration. Just like the navigators were using the North Star to be able to get around the world, uncover, I'm pretty sure That Columbus dude used celestial navigation, including the North Star, to be able to figure out where it is that he needed to go. Lucked up on America, and we ain't gonna talk about that history, but you know what it is. But just like searching the sky for the North Star, I don't know if y'all saw it last night, but when I was coming back from my 5K run, driving west, there was, I wish I had a amazing camera to take the pictures, but there was, I believe it was a crescent moon. Not where it was three-fourths full, but where it was one full. And you had the moon like hanging here, and then right above it was the Polaris, the North Star. Bright as day. And it's just like, it was ironic to me because in what I do in talking to you guys and in living my own life, I'm starting to notice more and more signs. And that was a true sign for me of what was actually going on. Like, yeah, Nicole, you're in pursuit of your North Star. You can see it. You have visual representations just in case you ever feel like you don't remember it. You have this image now, it's burnt in your mind the next time a duck comes up to you trying to quack, quack. You can find it if you're actually looking for it. I'm sorry. And finding your North Star, it's a journey inward. It's the space where you reflect on your values, passions, and what brings you fulfillment. Now, in that space, I have been one person who always looked externally, looked outwardly for what brings me fulfillment, where my passion is, what my values are. Now that I have um, experienced certain things, proverbially being thrown in my face or devalued or disregarded, just like, oh, okay, I've had enough. Now it's my turn. It's my turn to practice healthy selfishness. It's another video for another time, but it's possible because in the spaces where I need to be present and available for other people, I'm still in my operating space of my North Star. My North Star is genuinely who I am, how I care, how I show up for people, and me always being who it is that I'm called to be. But if I ain't in a space where I got to do that with any people, no, I'm gonna be selfish. Like, yeah, I'm gonna do what I want to do, say what I want to say, live how I want to live, pray how I want to pray. I told y'all I'm old. It's movie and song references coming out, but I don't have to feel bad about that because if I can do all those things to know those people operating in my North Star pursuit, then it's okay for me to do those things for myself. And I had to take a journey inward to be like, Nicole, like, what are the things that are of you that you don't necessarily have to give away? What are the things that are of you that in the quiet moments when you're by yourself and of yourself, you don't really see those things, but you hear other people telling you, oh, like, man, did you know you're an intellectual person? Did you know you're articulate? That's not language that I'm accustomed to using for myself, but now that other people, trusted people, have equipped me to utilize that same language, guess what? I use it now in the quiet spaces. I use it now to uncover, like, to give language to my values. What is it that I'm passionate about? What is it that actually brings me joy or fulfillment? That needs to be a part of the pursuit of your North Star. And if you don't know those things, then maybe there are some questions that you need to ask yourself. One could be, what are the things that light you up? What brings joy into your life? For me, I love my swing out. It's been months on months since I did it last. But guess what? Next Thursday, Tulsa Steppers, or this Thursday, I am coming back. Then I never stop practicing at home. That's how I know it brings me joy and fulfillment. In the moments where I'm practicing at home, I can just be me. I can twist, I can turn, I can move, I can be silly if I want to. But that is something that I have been able to identify in the pursuit of my North Star that brings me fulfillment. It makes me happy. Whether I do it with somebody else or I do it alone, I know in the future space of my romantic relationship, me and my husband, we will be swinging out at home. We will be going to the hole in the walls where we know that they do that, where we can just enjoy us. That will be a part of my future and our future life. Another question you may need to ask yourself is, what impact do you want to have on the world and those around you? Now, some people will say the world or those around you. I'm the type of person, I push you to both, because the world doesn't have to be the whole world. It should not be on your shoulders for the expectation of you to be there literally pushing the world forward. No, you should be able to push your world forward. You should be able to push the world forward of your children's lives. If you are a caregiver for your parents, you should be able to assist them with pushing the world forward. In some situations, you may need to be a guiding light for the world to go forward. But the world and those around you, the world is you. Everything starts and stops with you. Everything is created and destroyed by you. Everything is, oh, made and changed by you. In the analogy, in the space of this North Star pursuit. Now, don't get me twisted. I know God created it all. I mean, it said, and it was so. Okay. But he gave us the authority to look at ourselves as a version of the world. Look at yourself as a version of the world. What impact do you want to have as the world and on those around you? Another question. If money, time, or fear were not factors, how would you spend your days? I'll say that again because some of y'all, and you can insert any word right there that you need to put into the space of getting really real and honest with these types of questions that you need to be asking yourself. If money, time, fear, or blank, put in your blank, were not factors, how would you spend your days? It could be loneliness. Um, it can be, I'm trying to think of some other words, but it's very hard because my situation is not your situation. I'm at peace with the way everything has transpired in my life lately. I'm at peace with the place that God has put me in and how he continues to cover me with that peace every single day. Money, I used to worry about it. I've had times where my lights have been cut off. I've had times where I've been behind on my rent. I've had times where I've been behind on my car note. I've had times where I've struggled to provide what is needed for my daughter. I went without, but I made sure she had what she needed to. Now I'm in a space where money, it's not that much of a struggle anymore. And it's not because those challenges aren't still a possibility. I'm just not focused on it like that. And once I took my focus off of it, I started to see exactly how it lined up for me. When it comes to time, I just had a conversation, and I've had this conversation with people before. It's from a comparison standpoint, but time. If you know me in real life, I have a day job, I have a night job. I'm an entrepreneur and I have my own business pursuits that I'm doing. Now, just to be able to hear it from the standpoint of that, not knowing anything about me, it could be viewed that I'm a workaholic. It could be viewed that I don't have time. That's a lie. I do. Thursdays, my swing out class days. I told my night job, I'm not working on Thursdays. At first, it was for the pursuit of that, but I do therapy on Thursdays. Sometimes I just don't want to do anything on Thursdays, and I know I got that day in my back pocket to not have to do anything that I don't want to do because I'm practicing being healthily selfish. It's many of people who like, not many, let me take that word back. It ain't, but it's some people who Monday through Wednesday, Friday and Saturday ask me, hey, what you got going on? You probably working, huh? Yeah, I am. But don't nobody ever ask me about a Thursday. And I'm okay with it. Like, I have no problems. I'm not volunteering my Thursday. But if someone was to ask me, hey, like, I know the only day during the week that you don't work is on Thursday, but I'd really like to be able to see if you're available so we can sit down and connect. All right, depending on who you are, I consider it. And it may even happen. But I'm not volunteering that information. And I got Sundays. Is the Lord's Day. Yeah, I go to church. My pastor now, he be trying to get us out of there by noon. 12 to 6:30. I'm free. After 8 o'clock, after I get off of here, it's my time. My time to sit and decompress. But time is not a limiter for me. Fear. I used to be fearful of losing the things that I was once engaging with. The Lord done took them all. What is there for me to be fearful of now? At this point, it would be a decision, not even a choice. To me, choices are when you have options to choose against, options to pick against. Decisions are what you make despite having options. I was fearful of how God was moving everything in my life and how God was moving me in my life and what it was going to look like once the dust actually settled. He subtracted in some areas, and I was fearful of those subtractions. But in the space of him subtracting, he added so many other good things. And I know my God, he did it so I wouldn't have to focus on the fear that I was operating in losing completely those things or losing the perspective of how those things actually had to change. But I got plenty of goodness and abundance over here. It's just like, okay. And he brought me to the holding space. So moving from the fearful, the anxious, the worrisome, the confused, like moving from that space initially into the holding space, I'm still looking at the previous space because that's what I knew and that's what I got to the point of being conditioned in. Now that I'm still even further from the initial introduction to the holding space, now it's just like, okay, we looking this way. This stuff still over here doing what it's doing, but okay, hey, we got abundance, we got prosperity, but this stuff still over here. Like, it's like when you turn your head, your peripheral vision will only allow you to see so much. And with the complexity of how the human brain operates, you still have to tell yourself to focus on what is in your peripheral. Like right now, I can see my fingers. Like not looking here, I can see my fingers wiggling. But when I was just this way and looking at the abundance, you see how my head is turned even more. Now I can feel my fingers wiggling, but I can't see them. That's not a part of my focus. My North Star is what I am looking at. My North Star is what has commanded my attention. My North Star is my pursuit, and anything that is not in the direction of my North Star, the worrying about money, the feeling like I didn't have time, the fear of whatever was in those previous experiences, once I look to my North Star truly, I spend my days in peace. And I'm okay with that. I am. Like, I I'm trying to contain myself. I really am. Because just to be able to tell you my story and what I've been through and where I am now, like my North Star has a song. And for really like the past like week, before that, it came in pockets, this song to me. But now it's just like it is my anthem. And it's I am free. I'm free. Praise the Lord. I'm free. No longer bound. No more chains holding me. My soul is resting. And it's just a blessing. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. I'm free. That's my North Star. To really be able to truly be removed beyond the situations that I fought so hard against myself to hold on to, that I now have the opportunity to continue to pursue forward. There is nothing like that. And I am not the type of person that wishes ill on anybody, but I am the type of person that I see everything for what it is. I don't want the people in those previous experiences to experience any sort of harm, any sort of ill will. If it comes their way, I can guarantee it ain't coming from me. I still want the best for them. I still want growth for them. I still want evolution for them. I want elevation for them. But if I had the opportunity to experience what they were experiencing, and I can see it from a different perspective, and I could see more than what they could see because they couldn't see their own forest through the trees, that song has way more power to me because I don't have to walk around with the excess baggage. They will have that with them until they decide to do what it is that they need to do in order to fortify themselves to where it doesn't still have the same impact. Maybe there are real decisions that they need to make that they're not willing to make. Maybe there are people in their lives that they need to cut off in order to be able to move forward and to really pursue who they're meant to be in life. Maybe there are habits that they need to drop and they need to break to where it's just like they can stop holding themselves back. Maybe they need to get 100% honest about they are their own limiting belief. But for me, I put up a video yesterday. I only know how to love one way, and that's fully. And even when I'm pushed into the space of not actively living in the fullness of my love never goes anywhere. It's still there. But if you, those people, can't allow the space of my love to come in and to transform and to do whatever it's going to do naturally, I can't put myself in a position to where I would still possibly consumed by the chaos that you're pursuing. My North Star is shining brighter than that. Another question to ask yourself in the pursuit of uncovering your North Star: What beliefs or principles guide your decisions? Like if you're the type of person where um, there is something that you need to do, and I'm drawing on my own experiences because in therapy, I had to do a new set of goals because the ones that I previously established around my birthday when I turned 40, I've worked through those, really worked through those. And now they're in what my therapist likes to call maintenance mode. So it's like I don't have to actively do anything for those things. I just have to be mindful of, all right, we've done this work, we've had this progress. We now know what we need to do to continue to move forward, and we know what we need to do, what we need not to do to prevent being sucked back into it. So, what beliefs or principles guide your decisions? Last question you may need to ask yourself is, when do you feel most aligned or as your authentic self? Because your North Star can't be aligned to anyone or anything else. It has to be rooted in something of you. Everything else is going to change. Everything else is going to shift. Everything else at some point or another is going to look different. Shoot, you gonna even look different. But there should be something that you can align yourself with, that throughout the rest of your life, I done had a conversation with God and I told him, Lord, give me 60 plus years. Now, if you heard what I said, this year, my birthday, I turned 40. Lord, give me 60 more years. We need to go to math class. I'm just saying. 6 plus 4 equals 10. 100. I mean that. I want to live a long life. I want to live a full life. I want to be able to see my life live life, my daughter. But in all of that, there has to be something for me that holds me true to the space of alignment that I'm currently in a pursuit to get to. What is your why? What is your North Star? And if you don't know it yet, don't fret, mon frere. You good. It's a process. It ain't something that's just gonna come to you overnight. Because maybe you need to open your eyes and try to move all the mess up out the way before you can even start to see any sort of light. So, examples of North Stars, like some people may feel called to contribute to their community, while others may want to create art, pursue learning, or raise a family in a meaningful way. Now, when it comes to family, the pursuit for it still has to be of you. There's a video my best friend sent me the other day, and we'll get into that conversation in one of my mindful moments. But everything you do, there is a why in everything that you do. And whether you're trying to live in the realization of that why, or whether you are just going through the motions of doing what it is that you feel like you're doing, there's still a why in going through the motions of just doing whatever you feel like it is that you're doing. The why doesn't go anywhere, even though you choose to ignore it. But don't forget, like, your North Star is unique to you. Uncovering what your North Star is, there is no right or wrong answer of what your North Star is. Mine is not yours. Mine ain't gonna look like yours. You may not even understand mine. I may not, as your coach, understand yours. But as long as you know why, that's all that matters. Self acceptance of your own why, it is important. It's important to accept where you are on your journey. Like I said, if you have not uncovered, discovered, or revealed your North Star just yet, that's okay. It's a process. And the process itself is it's illuminating. Aha, y'all got that light reference. So, with that being said, I am going to leave it there tonight. We are going to have a continued conversation on finding your North Star, exploring the guide to uncovering your why on this journey of the mind reset that you're going on. If y'all would allow me, I normally don't do this. I normally don't, kind of put my own information and my own business out there. But if y'all could send some prayers your girl's way, I have a biopsy procedure tomorrow to see what is going on with the nodules in my thyroid. I am already confident that no matter whatever it is, God got me and I'm good. But it does say when two or more are gathered in his name, the spirit be moving. So if you feel up to it, if you would like to, just send some prayers your girl's way. The procedure is tomorrow, and I'm gonna take the day no matter what happens. Um, yeah, I got some really good things in store for you guys. Like I said in the very beginning, I want to illuminate this process because it is a current process that I'm going through. And if I can share in what I'm going through, my experiences, and it helps somebody else, whether near or far, if it puts us into a space to really start talking about the things that we need to talk about. Because if you are in my age group, we come from a generation of like the previous generation, there was seclusion, there was exclusion, there was that what happens in the home stays in the home. Like, you better not tell nobody what's going on, whatever. Like, we've been programmed not to outwardly have certain conversations about what's going on with us. The ones we do love and the ones who love us cannot offer us assistance in life if we're not willing to let them know what is going on with us. I'm not saying let everybody know. I'm not saying if you have that little tingle where you feel like you can't tell that person what's going on with you because you feel like they may use it against you. Hey, your discernment is your own. Use it, turn that frequency up. But if you can't get honest and real with anyone externally of yourself, get real with yourself internally. If you are a religious person, a spiritual person, if you believe in something higher than you, give that over to that higher belief, that higher person, that higher being, and let them help you navigate through it. And I mean, at the end of the day, I'm always here, your favorite life coach. Yeah, I'm open. I'm ready. I'm looking to receive whatever it is that you're willing to give in the coaching space. I would hope that my clients know that I don't, I'm free of judgment. Like, God made me differently when it comes to that. I can look at what someone is going through and I can have a perspective. But my perspective is just that. Like, who am I to judge? Just not let she be judged first. I got my own stuff that I'm going through. But if I can be a vessel to offer assistance to someone else, then why not? Why not? So I will see each and every one of you next Sunday. If you found this video informational, if you found it insightful, if it started to scratch at the surface of any of that stuff that you're trying to hide, any of that stuff that you're not trying to let come about, then I hope that you will go back and watch this video. If you know someone who could benefit from these conversations that I have every Sunday, share the link with them. Let's push it forward. Let's build a community of people who are not afraid to actively and intentionally gauge in conversation, in connection with one another, and to offer a space where it's just like, hey, we need to change. Doing the same thing and saying that we doing something different, like that's so played out. Like, it's stupid. It ain't got us nowhere up until this point, and it ain't gonna get us nowhere in the future. That is my hope, that we will build a community that's like that. So until next Sunday, I hope you guys have an amazing week. I hope that you listen to the information for the beginning process of the North Star, uncovering what it is, because once you know what your North Star is like, I'm telling you, there ain't nothing like it. There ain't nothing anyone can do that can come up against that North Star. And it is the thing that will keep you moving forward in the light and in the direction that it is that you need to go. So until next Sunday, I want to wish you the same as I do every Sunday, and I really mean it. I wish you a good life filled with real love and all of the above. Dang, I forgot to sing it this time. Now I can't do it because it ain't gonna hit the same. But y'all know what it is. But yeah, so I will see each and every one of y'all next Sunday. I love y'all and have a great week.